Got everything. We need to go. Yeah, we're gonna. Damn, that's gonna suck. Get the medical facilities first, shit. First. I know where I'm going, so. Let's go. Everyone's already clearing it out, so might as well go here.
Request denied. All available birds are in flight. Negative. All birds are in the air. Negative. All birds are currently dispatched.
Ready for available. Ready. What does that mean? Available. Ready for mission.
Negative. All birds are in the air.
Dude, I can't even see. Awful. Okay. How are you at Falling Airfield? God damn, bro. They are burning through this shit.
Negative. All birds are currently dispatched. Roger. Raven is in the air and heading
2
to base
fucking
camp.
minutes. Holy shit. I hate that noise, whatever that is. Holy shit, that thing is... Dude, they made him way faster now. That's awesome.
Raven here. Ready to head out. Strap in. We're heading out. Approaching the LZ. 30 seconds.
the south side of town. Christ. I figured out the laser aiming. Holy shit. Is it all high or what? That's weird. Oh my god, don't do that. Press the fucking wrong key. Let me get closer, this is really hard to hit with this. I can't hit that, no way. Yeah, ow! Don't do that. I hate that it keeps using the wrong shit. You have to do the H thing. It won't automatically put the right shit on, which is kind of annoying. Come on, come on. I get hit by it. What the fuck is up with the audio? Come on. Weird. Yeah, it's just bugged right there in that one spot. Yeah, can I loot him? RPL dock key, nice. That's cute. Yep. Playing gay zone. Gray zone. I mean, yeah, they added a lot of shit. I mean, it's really early on. I think of it like how Tarkov was when it first came out. Like, it's just focusing primarily on the foundation, so there's just not like, I don't know, it's not like you're gonna jump in like Tarkov and find all this crazy shit to loot and like these insane quests, and, like, it's not even like that. But the foundation is being built really well. I just like it because it feels different. Nope. I don't even know if anyone, maybe JD? Oh, no, not me. Wasn't me. Probably JD or Ridge. But Ridge is like never in here, and then fucking JD, I don't know where he's at right now. He's always playing some other shit. Oh, that's Sean. Yeah, he would probably play that, yeah. Never buy a PC. What's your price limit? Oh, well then, I mean, you can definitely get a decent PC for under 2K. Like, you can
Raven, wheels up for Alpha 1.
Very good one. Oh, yeah, yeah. So if you get a PC with, like, I mean, I don't know how much you know about CPUs, but there's, like...
This is Raven, arriving arriving shortly near your position.
Basically, based on the
ETA, 30
CPU,
seconds.
there's something called a TDP. It's basically the thermal, like how much heat it puts off. And the CPU that you had in it was really good. It's just a very hot CPU. And if you don't get an all-in-one cooler, basically, it's like a liquid cooler that's like built all together. You just kind of punch it on the CPU, and then it comes with like usually 2 or 3 fans, and you stick that somewhere in the case, and that basically cools the liquid that cycles through and keeps your CPU cool. And that one that you had didn't have that. It just used air cool, which means your room would turn into a fucking oven.
Landing, get in, go! Get ready, we're moving out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obnoxious. Honestly, you could probably build a decent computer if you took the time.
Get ready, 30 seconds.
Yeah. It's about buying one that isn't a scam, or? Yeah. Well, that's fair. I mean, the biggest problem is graphics cards. They're just super expensive. Like, if graphics cards didn't cost as much as they did now.
And we're back, home sweet home.
Oh yeah, but they're not releasing like the card that you would buy until way later, because like otherwise you're spending like 3K on a PC easily if you're trying to buy what that's coming, because they're gonna probably release. I mean, the best way I can look at it right now is it's depending on the resolution that you're playing at. Like, do you know what resolution your display is? 1080p. I mean, honestly, if I were you, if you're gonna buy a nice card like that, you should play on a 1440p. But if you're already playing on a 1080p, you don't need that high end of a graphics card. Like, you can literally, yeah. Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I mean, you can get a decent 1440p monitor. You wouldn't be able to get an OLED, but you could get like a VA or an IPS. It just depends on what kind of games you play. Like VA type of monitors, they have like better color contrast, but they're not like as quick on the latency, so you might have like a small amount. It depends on what brand you get. IPS though is like really high latency, but the color grade kind of sucks on it. So it just depends on what kind of games you play. If you care about that kind of shit, or if you're just playing games where you're like playing competitively and you don't really care like that much about how your game looks. But if you're on a 2K budget, I would not. You're not gonna buy an OLED or anything like super high-end monitor. But if you did, and you're like trying to get a better graphics card, like I think 1440p will be the new standard pretty soon. Like everyone's moving to that because it's way more clarity and it's not nearly as demanding. Like 1080 to 1440p is not that much more demanding. Now 1440p to 4K is fucking insane. Like I play on 4K and that is way more demanding than 1440p. And like, but I'll tell you right now, like you can even ask Zach. He used to play on 1080 all the time. But when he switched to 1440p, it was like night and day for him. Like he was actually like blown away with how much better the shit looked. It's just clearer, and it's not nearly as demanding as you'd think. And all that shit means is pixels. What are you talking about? You like full on VR or what? Oh yeah. I don't know. Like, will it be the same or would it be exhausting? Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, VR, like, even now, is exhausting to some people, like, mentally and physically. It's just, like, sometimes people play games because they can relax and they can only use their hands, their eyes, and their fucking fingers, you know? So it's like, oh. Yeah, that sounds... Yeah, that's about 30, 40 years from now. Yeah, but once it gets to that point for those kind of people, like, there's no progression, you know? It's just like, that's it. That's what you got. I think, like, we're born in a time where every couple of years it advances and it's more intriguing to us and it's more exciting. But, like, once you get to a point where you have full dive, it's just like, that is the extent. Like, you don't go further than that. Yeah. Oh. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're gonna fall off eventually, for sure. If people just stop buying their fucking game. I mean, it's gotten to the point now, like, where Microsoft bought them, and, like, I think the reason those games sell so well and they go online is because everyone already has Game Pass. It's not like people are really... Yeah, yeah, I understand that. But, like, I think that, like... Yeah, yeah, so, like... I got another one of these, Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah, but you don't want to be on that point where, like, you're having to upgrade every, like, 2 fucking years because you keep bottlenecking yourself. You just want to make sure whatever you get, it can not be too demanding. So I think, like... But personally, if I were you, I would aim for a 1440p rig. So, like... Oh, nothing. Like, it's cheap. I just, like, that's why I'm blown away that they went cheaper and didn't set it up. Like, it's like, but here's the thing. Can your case even fit it? That's what it comes down to. Like, yeah, when you get pre-built PCs, the issue is most of the time they don't have very modular style cases, or they don't have don't even have a modular power supply. So, like, let's say you were like, oh, you know, this PC's been doing well, but I need a better graphics card. I don't like this one. It's been like a year now. It sucks. I'm gonna get a new one, and you got to put it in. But it turns out your power supply, there's a difference. There's standard power supplies and there's modular. Standard means all the wires that come out of it are the only wires that can power, right? It's only what's built into it. Modular means you can plug more in there and get more power. And so graphics cards require more power sometimes. And they have these things called VGA connections. And like these little 6-pin power cables. So if you get a pre-built and you get it and it arrives and you look in there and that power supply isn't modular, you can't add more power to it to upgrade it. That's the problem with pre-builts. They're not designed to upgrade. So for me, whenever I had PCs, a lot of the time I'm either upgrading just a motherboard, CPU, and RAM, and everything else I'm keeping. Sometimes I'm upgrading just a graphics card. Sometimes I'm upgrading, you know, just the fucking CPU, depending if my motherboard has the same socket. So, like, the problem with pre-builts is most of the time you can't upgrade from them. So unless you're going to keep it for like 4 or 5 fucking years, you're screwing yourself down the road because you can't upgrade it. You're going to end up trying to sell it. No one's going to want it for that. No one's going to want to pay that much for it. And you end up just eating your fucking... how much you paid for it. That's the issue. So, like, I will say that building a PC is not as difficult as it comes out to be. I say the hardest parts are, like, when you get a motherboard and you're like, okay, and you got a case and you screw it in, you're like, okay, where do I put these little power plugs for, like, the button that turns it on? Where do I put... And what's funny is those motherboards have little manuals that can show you. Like, it's pretty straightforward. It's not that confusing. Like, fucking kids build PCs today. It's not that difficult. And if you want to build a PC... PC part picker is your best friend. Like, being able to build one. PC part, yeah. It's convenient, but they have issues too, though. Yeah. It's not as hard as people think it is. You use PC part picker, you get all the parts. Here's the thing: there's no rush. You know what I mean? Like you just take your time. The most sweaty part is putting your CPU in the socket, but even that's not that hard. And then you're going to put thermal paste on. Keynote is you don't need that much thermal paste, you know. And if your CPU doesn't even get that hot, you don't have a super high-end one. Yeah, yeah. You just don't put that much. And I even experienced it too, because a lot of the times I had AIOs, right? So those are the all-in-one coolers. Those are the water cool ones. It's basically just a triple fan slot that screws into your case somewhere where there's air that can come in and out, right? It screws in there. It has two tubes, and those two tubes basically are input and output for the water, and it's like this little block that goes on top of your CPU. So it's not a fan on there, it's just a block. And that's just the water cycling through that block to cool your CPU, and it works a lot better. It provides way more longevity on your CPU, and it's just all around a better experience, and it's cheap. It's like $100 for a decent one, or 110. They're on sale all the time too. I recommend the Arctic series if you get one. They're incredibly good. I got one recently and dropped my CPU temp on 10 to 12 Celsius average, which is crazy. But like the hardest part with those sometimes is if you're going to get a new one in place or something, then you have to do your own thermal paste. Because those AIOs, what's convenient is it comes with pre-applied thermal paste. So if you get an AIO, you don't have to worry about thermal paste. You just slap it on your CPU and screw it in. Just don't fuck it up. That's it. And that's not that hard. Like once you get the CPU in the socket, you just fucking take off a bracket, you screw something in the back of the motherboard, and then you screw the block on top, and it's like, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's not that much. As long as you don't overthink it, you put the CPU in properly, you know, you screw on the fucking mounts and shit, it's not that bad. It'll probably take you a little bit, because you're like looking at it and making sure, oh, I hope I don't fuck this up, because I've been through the same shit, but it's not that bad. I think a lot of people get screwed with pre-builds, and it's really better to build your own shit, and like, your first pre-built, you'll probably buy some shit and go, oh, I wish I got this instead, but that's just all part of the fucking process, figuring out what you want and shit like that. But right now, like, being that it's fucking Christmas time and shit, there's gonna be a lot of shit on sale, so if you're gonna build one, now is the time. Like, I would just go on PC part picker, you know, I think, like, I don't know, you could probably post it in here and ask people if you think your rig is decent enough, and then everyone in here would just critique it and either say it's dog shit, add this or whatever, and then yeah. But like, if you're on that, like, you don't need a crazy CPU. Like, I first off recommend going AMD. Don't go Intel right now, because Intel's had fabrication issues, and I had to replace my CPU. They did it for free, but nonetheless, yeah, don't do with them right now, because who knows if they're still having issues. Do AMD, but you don't need like a crazy fucking like 9500X fucking, you don't need that. Get like a 9800 3D, and if you don't need that, get a 9700 3D. Like if you're only running 1440p, you're not streaming, you know, you're running just games, you don't need something that crazy, you know. Unless you're 4K gaming, you don't need anything higher than that. Like a 9700 3D is good. And the reason I say 3D is you want the 3D cache. That's what that stands for. So there's CPUs that have the 3D at the end, the Ryzen 9s. That's the one you'd probably want to aim for, because it's gonna perform a lot better in games. Yeah. Oh, but it doesn't matter though. You still want the trust. It's just a better experience, man. Like the frames you're getting on that game is probably dog shit compared to what you would get if you just bought the right shit that you need, but just the right, like not overkill, you know. Like you could go out and overkill it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, but is it necessary, you know? Like in most games, you definitely see the difference between 80 to 100 and 100 to 120. Like you see the difference in those frames. It's crazy. Like people that say they don't see over 60 FPS. I think they have a gerbil for a brain, like a hamster wheel type shit. Because I just don't understand it. Like you literally 100% can tell the difference between those kind of frames. You can, and it's a way better experience. Like, and the thing is, the displays you probably have, I don't know if they even run that high. Most do these days though. Like, if you're getting a new display, you don't need like a 240 hertz monitor unless you're a CS:GO pro. Like that's just over the top. That's fucking perfect. Like, that's what I run. Like, if you're running higher than that, you're probably you're playing the most competitive shit ever. But, some do it by default. Some run that high, and you don't even need to run your game that high. You know what I mean? Did you just buy it? Older? So sometimes what people don't even notice is that in your Windows settings you have to change that. And you have to go to your graphics control for your NVIDIA card or even AMD, and you have to tell your display to run higher than that. It's fucking goofy as hell. So some people get these monitors like, wow, isn't running this high. Like, I'm telling it to. It's because it's... Hmm. Ugh. Yeah, PC part picker would be your friend. And I will say that, like, look up the most popular cases. You know what I mean? Like, just do a little bit of research, you know? Research, like, what's the best CPU for 1440p gaming? Like, what is, like, what's good on the market? Graphics card, though, don't get anything over a 4070 if you're running 1440p. Unless, like you said, you're trying to go through the ages and not deal with, then that's fine, I guess. But at the end of the day, 4 years from now, you can just sell that card and upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, graphics cards are interchangeable. As long as you don't get a pre-built, you can get a new one. That's the key. And for God's sakes, don't get a cheap power supply. Do not do that. You will fucking fuck shit up. Get EVGA or Sonic, Supersonic, Seasonic. Those two are good. Those I trust. Yeah. Do you even know what your FPS? What was it? Holy shit. You're running that game on a 10-7. What's your CPU? i7, i5? i7 what? 900, 9,000, or 8,000, 7,000? Oh my god, that's old as shit. That thing is probably still moving. Yeah, that's fucking old, dude. That's like, that CPU is literally... One second. Hello? You back already? Yeah. Oh, okay. Alright, well, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna fucking eat some food, but I will be back.
And say hi to your girlfriend. Hello?
I'm coming, give me a second. I was talking to somebody. What is that?
It's my contacts.
Okay, let me...